MJB Music with JB.
Hey, we live.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Man, how y'all doing tonight? Everybody good? Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. Man, we got a great mentors, mentees, and just want to bring you everything music education and culture. So, JB, tell them exactly what that means and what they can expect.
Oh yeah, so what we can expect is we'll get tons of information during this podcast from entertainment professionals such as producers, songwriters, makeup artists, entertainment lawyers, photographers, musicians, and so much more. It's really exciting.
Yes, sir. Exciting it is. And today is a special day. Thank you for joining us. We truly value your time and your attention. You could be doing anything else right now at this time, but you're tuned in with the MJB Music and JV podcast. So tonight's discussion is effective marketing and promotion strategies. And joining us, Tish Taylor, a talent entrepreneur,
Yes.
entertainment manager, and marketing executive. Tish started working for Sony Music in the late 90s, right before graduating. She studied at the Illinois Institute of Art and graduated with a bachelor's degree in marketing with a focus in fashion and marketing and merchandising. She has proven results and has worked with some of the greatest artists in the industry, including her superstar son, none other than the Jacob Lattimore.
Yeah.
So get your pens, get your pads ready. This is about to be good. I'm telling you, you want to continue to tune in. But first, JB, tell us what's happening in our culture, man. What's the news flash moment of the day?
So Kanye West is in the news again. So we talked about a couple of days ago him running for a campaign for presidency. Then we talked about him shooting a picture out of him being on Mount Rushmore. And so here he is in the news again today. And the other day, I guess it was his coming out rally. And so he had a outburst, and so he was doing this. He was acting in unusual behavior. He was crying and talking about how his almost aborted child, and it was just crazy. And so the rapper went on to talk about Harriet Tubman and how she didn't free slaves. It just certainly seemed like unusual behavior for Common. But what do you say? What do you think?
Wow, man, you know what? I think the first time we kind of discussed Kanye, I was like kind of wondering because he's a very intelligent
Super
guy.
intelligent, yeah.
So I always wondered if there's something behind, if there's a method to his madness, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So I always kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt. But that last little clip kind of got me like, I don't know. Mental health and mental illness is real.
It's a real deal.
So like I say, with Kanye, man, time will tell. I mean, the way we look at it, we see it one way, but time will definitely tell. So
absolutely.
What can we do other than continue to pray for the brother, man?
Absolutely.
So yeah. But without further ado, let's jump in, man. Let's welcome our guest, the beautiful Miss Tish Taylor.
Hey.
What up, Tish?
Thank you. Hey, everybody.
Hey. Thank you. We are so honored.
So they can see us.
They can see us.
Okay.
Yep. They can see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all your glory. They can see you.
Right.
Computer. I was
Say
trying
it
to
again.
get what it looked like.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
it's a little bit. It's a little bit of a delay. So,
Oh,
yeah, that's why. So,
okay.
yeah, yeah, it's.
Right,
Yeah. But we are so honored and so excited to have you, Miss Tish, today. Actually, you are the first lady that we've had so far on the show, and we are just, I mean, who better than Tish Taylor to be on the show as the first lady? So we appreciate you. So without further ado, we're gonna jump in. We want to get as much out of you as we can within this short period of time, while respecting your time. So let's start out with tell us a little bit about your journey and just about the journey leading up to where you are now.
Yeah, well, my music journey started very young, just hanging around the radio station with my mom at WNOV. From there, I was pretty much, not raised, but sort of kind of like raised by some of the promo reps that would come to town, and I would help them out. And I think that's where my bug for music promotions. That's where my bug for music promotion started. From there, I was a college rep at Sony Music from, let's say, 98. I think it was 98 or early 99 until 2001.
Okay.
When I graduated college. From there, I was hired to be the field marketing rep for Wisconsin. And so during that time, that's when retail was, going into the retail store was
A thing, right?
exciting, So I pretty much oversaw promotions in Wisconsin with on the retail side, and then transition to do some sales until I was laid off in 2005. And then I transitioned to more corporate Fortune 500 consumer experience marketing from there. However, I did not know that my son wanted to be in the music industry. And I believe all of my experience from being at the radio station, being a college rep, then working with Sony prepared me to manage his career since he was 9 years old. He'll be 24 in a couple weeks. So,
Wow.
yeah. So that's my music, that's my music career,
That's
basically, in a nutshell.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So that's a little bit of the journey. It's
Yeah.
always interesting to see how people got to where they are. Like, is it something that you were born with, something you've been chasing, or something that kind of fell in your life just in your lap due to purpose? You know what I mean? So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. So, James, I wanted to ask you, what percentage of an artist's success is based on effective marketing and promotions? What would you say? Like, what is that percentage in
That
your opinion?
is 95.
95%. So y'all hear that? 95% of the success
I
rate is
think 95.
attributed.
It might be 96.
Talk about that. Tell us why that's so important.
You have great records. It's just how do you get it in front of people? You know what I mean? So I think it definitely takes consistency and strategic marketing and um, planning and activating. And that, I mean, that can entail whatever you want it to entail, whatever you want your promotion plan to entail. Maybe do you want to solely focus on digital, since we're like in this digital space now? Do you want to go to radio? Like, do you have the budget to go to radio? Do you have the budget to do an effective digital campaign? Are you out building the right relationships um, to get like better looks? I mean, it can entail, it can entail just a variety of things.
Hmm.
Do you want to put the record out? Do you want to shoot videos? Do you want to, do you want to do a fan activation face to face? Like, it really just depends on how you want to get it in front of how do you want to get this in front of the masses? Do you want to be very disruptive like a Takashi? You know what I mean? Like, that everything he's doing is marketing. He's brilliant at what he does for what he does. You know what I mean? So how disruptive do you want to be? you know. So yeah, it can. The thing about like a Tekashi or like even like when we talk about rappers like a Trippie Redd, they're very loud and disruptive in their lane, but their music, the good thing, their music is good. And that's just my opinion. It's good, you know. So if it was bad, it's like, why are they causing all this racket and the music is bad? You know what I mean? Now they just become influencers in reality, you know, reality stars to, you know, in that, you know, in that right. So
Wow. So
yeah.
you mentioned disruptive as one of the strategies. What are some other strategies that marketing professionals use to kind of market themselves?
Um, Ways to promote yourself is, let's see, the traditional, you got a music video, that's traditional. You got lyric videos, that's traditional. Once the music is out, you put an advertising campaign behind it, whether it's Facebook and Instagram ads, YouTube ads. Maybe you want to control your narrative and you want, okay, this is the thing. Everybody want a publicist. They think having, I need PR, I need a publicist, blah, 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 blah. Like they think that is like having a publicist is important. Don't get me wrong. However, there are various micro blogs on the internet now that requires a digital marketing budget for you to pitch to these blogs and get placement. So basically you can control your narrative in that way. And they don't necessarily want music all the time. It's more so like, what are you doing? It's more so they want to get to know the actual brand, the artist. So you can create a digital plan where you are getting placement on some of these micro blogs. A bigger blog would be like an academics or a Say Cheese or Shade Room or Shade Room Teens at Rap. I'm naming a bunch of rap blogs because I just dealt with a bunch of rappers and
Yeah.
a bunch of rappers, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, and that was like my thing. So you can market yourself in that way. Maybe you want to hire influencers, you know, to get your music out. Do you want them to create skits? Do you want to be in a skit with them? Do you guys want to create an activation? Do you want to book a suite out at the Atlanta Hawks game and invite influencers and pay them to be there? So it's like you have relationships. It's so many different ways to control your narrative to make it what you want it to be. You know what I mean? Maybe you are on YouTube and you start a documentary and the process of your, you know, the process of your album. Maybe you want to get a little bit more personal. Maybe you want people to see your family life. Maybe you want them to see your day to day because it is beyond the music nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For example, when my son posts him and his girlfriend, they get 200 something thousand likes. You know what I mean? So people are really intrigued by people's personal life, things that are relatable, you know, to them. So people are intrigued by the personal life. So if you, it's so many things that you can do to get your brand and your music in front of people. So many things. I mean, you can, you know, pitch it for syncs, you know, TV, film, commercials, webisodes. It takes a lot of work. It's very, very tedious. You want to hire TikTokers, hire TikTokers to do a dance, take the dance, put an ad behind their content to get your music out. It's like so many things that you can do.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know, our music community, especially our new independent music community, they people have to realize that they are a business. You know, it's not just spending all this money to record a song, get it mixed, get it mastered, just to say you got it mixed, get it mastered. Some people get features and pay tens of thousands of dollars for features to just hold on to it, just to say you got a feature. What is that? Are you in it for, what are you in this for?
That's a good question.
Are you in it, what you just in this for to say you got a feature with somebody, or are you in this because you need a return on your investment and you want to make a profit? So what are people's priorities?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. You just dropped so many different knowledges. I mean, different jewels on just thinking outside the box, like the
Yeah.
information that you're providing. And we only been on just for a few minutes, and you've
Yeah.
already dropped so much information. Like I said, I hope people have their pad and pens out because I'm learning. I'm taking it in as well. And you mentioned like music and lyric videos, microblogs, influencers, skits, hiring TikTokers. Number one, I wouldn't even know what steps to take. How do you get to a TikToker to even hire them?
It all starts with research and building a database. Strong when these record labels are built on databases right now. Databases. They are the record labels are literally like media companies now. You have not just your sales department, but you have your social department. You have your brand partnership department. Not just your public your A&R department and your marketing department. I mean, everybody's kind of is siloed. Everybody's just kind of working together. But as an independent, you have to do well as the record labels. What they do is the major record labels, they may hire me because they know I have a list of 100 TikTokers. Okay, Tish, we have this new Sweetie record. We want to pay you
Mm-hmm.
to line up these TikTokers and oversee these TikTokers. You pay the TikTokers or whatever, however you need to do it. So it's all about research. It's all about you taking the time, hiring you some interns if you need to build your database. And all it is reaching out. Reach out. What is your rate? What is your rate to create a TikTok video? What is your rate to post me in this, if it's a clip of you just in the studio vibing to music and you talking crazy, saying it's hot, and you pitch to these blogs that you want a hot or not type post.
Mm-hmm.
What's the post on your timeline? What's the post rate for your timeline? What's the post rate for your story? So it's all really just research and doing it. That is how you build your database. Just reaching out, researching, doing it. That's it. But
Hmm.
also want to keep in mind, if you're reaching out to a blog, how active is the blog? You want to pay attention to the engagement of the blog. You want to pay attention to the engagement of your TikTokers, or if maybe they're on Triller or Dub Smash. Maybe it's not TikTok. It just takes a lot of research. And what I like to do is talk to kids. Kids know everything. They know,
Mm.
who hot. They know who coming up. Whether if they not on TikTok, that they know that they coming up. Oh, he on YouTube. He got
Yeah.
millions of views. I don't know who this person is. How did this happen? These kids are literally letting us know who's next.
Wow.
Talk to your kids. Talk to your kids. Talk to your guy kids. Talk to your nieces. Talk to your uncles. I mean, your nephews. They know who's hot. If it's young, they know.
Yeah.
You can. You can. You can. This is the thing. You can charge. You can go to anybody you want to go to. You know what I mean? You can go to. Let's say your budget is only $500, and you want to hire TikTokers. Maybe you hire the micro TikTokers and make it big. I can hire, I don't know, a bunch of TikTokers for $50 and you have it spread. You know what I mean? Versus hiring a TikToker that has 2-3 million views and you got to give them the whole 500 and you just got one TikTok. You don't have to use the biggest. You don't have to always use the biggest. Sometimes using the micro is even better because you get more bang for your buck and you get to spread your content the way you want to. And then the other thing is, people, like I said earlier, you can utilize that content and boost it. Put a Facebook and Instagram advertising campaign on it and have that TikToker's content floating versus you in a studio or your music video floating, which you can have all of it floating actually, because I strongly believe in having 4 or 5 ads running at the same time.
Wow.
Hopefully this
So,
makes sense. I'm trying to
oh
pack it.
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh no, it makes perfect sense. I'm just kind of going back to what you said. You said knowing your rates or knowing rates of people that you want to, hire, that helps you to create the budget. So, I just want to continue to push what you said so people don't miss that. It's okay to, even if you don't have the money right away to pay these people, you need to do the research, which you just said is very, very valuable and important. So doing that research allows you to know at least what the rates are that you're looking for. And once that comes, then you can create a budget. And I found out that when you have a budget, money comes to you. And when
Mm-hmm.
you don't, when you have a plan, the money will come. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us get stuck with not having a plan because we don't have the money. And so even the Bible says to write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah.
So when we have a vision of what we need and what we see, we begin to attract those things that get us to where we're going. You want to say something? Go ahead. I feel you.
Really priority. They got the money. It's really
Yeah.
a priority. You got the money for whatever you want to do. It's like some things you may have to sacrifice. So it's really just about priority. And another thing is when you're building these databases, it's not just for you. Now you done became a company. You done became a media company. You became an influencer company. And guess what? You tell people I got a list of influencers and I can handle your influencer campaign. So that's a whole nother stream of income for you.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So let's talk budget a little bit more. How would you advise an artist with a smaller budget? And you kind of touched on this. How would you advise an artist with a smaller budget to spend funds or allocate funds, and what can a larger budget afford an artist? So basically, what's a good number to shoot for? Like if you're just a beginner artist, like is $500 a good number to work with, or
I
what do you?
mean, I think you start with what you can start with, and you have to spread it with, and you create. It would definitely have to be a micro campaign for sure. We just have to figure out what can this $500 really do. It's not going to do a lot. It's not
Mm.
going to do a lot, but you usually just start where you are, analyze it. You analyze it and say, okay, I may need to get another 500 and kick this, kick it up a notch, because $500 won't take you too far. So I don't know if you want to do $100 ad on YouTube, $150 ad on Facebook, and then take the other 300 and do, I don't know, an influencer campaign.
Yeah.
It may not really take you far, and then mm,
Mm.
but start with what you can,
And build.
and
Yeah.
be, yeah.
That's wise. That's wise. So I'm wondering, for an artist that, um, let me see. So I just lost my train of thought. But James, go ahead. What was you getting ready to say?
Remember, the more money, the more you can spread. The longevity of your campaign can spread. You see what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
you want to do $20,000 of YouTube ads, it's going to spread. You have the luxury of getting millions of people to see you and discover you. If you want to do $5,000 towards independent YouTube playlisting, you have more people willing. You have the luxury of having more people discover you. If you want to do 5 different Facebook and Instagram ads at the same time, still targeting one song, then you have the luxury of more people discovering you. So more money is your campaign spreads longer. These platforms make sure more people see you, because you got to remember, YouTube, YouTube is Google, Instagram is Facebook. They run their businesses off advertising. They want people to see you. The more money you spend, they're going to make sure people see you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I
As
remember what.
long as it's good content, if it's good content, great music, and people see it and hear it,
Yeah.
you'll start to see your numbers go up.
Gotcha. I remember what I wanted to ask you. So independent versus signed artists. Like I know there are some pros and cons to each. And
Mm-hmm.
as an independent artist, sometimes we don't have the budget that a signed artist may have. So how do you advise? Would you still advise an independent artist to? Well, I want you to tell them like what kind of budgets are these signed artists working with? If an independent artist is trying to get 500, and then we work our way up.
They working with probably like starting off, depends on the label, depends on where they at. Maybe they're looking at analytics. They may start them off at 15, 20, 25, between 15 and 25, something like that.
Okay.
Digital, because right now we got to talk digital, because ain't nobody going on the road. You can't do festivals, you can't do promo tours right now. Everything is heavily, extremely digital. So yeah, I'm saying
Wow.
about 15 starting digitally. If maybe a little bit more, because they may need to shoot a video or something like that. But the thing is, the major labels ain't doing no different, they're not doing anything different that the independent labels shouldn't be doing.
Gotcha.
What I'm saying?
Same strategy, just different
Strategy. They just have more money.
Absolutely.
They have more money to get access to folks. But they're still out researching and taking meetings with new companies and trying to scale, so they don't have to research. So they don't have to do the research of these influencers and TikTokers, or just for example, they're looking to scale. Okay, well, who has the database? Mario and James got the database. We need to bring them in and make them a vendor and just pay them to handle influencers, So that's what I did with Lucci and Q Money. I really just went to someone else who already had it to scale, because I had a bunch of other things to do, and that's his job. Just go out and get me the placements that I need, So they're not doing anything different. I think just as independent, it's just more work. If you want to own the databases, you can own the databases. If you don't, you can go out and find who has the databases and just pay them to handle it. If not, you got to do it on your own.
Got you. How have you had to adjust, if you have at all? How have you had to adjust your marketing and promotions strategies due to the pandemic, and how has that affected your everyday?
For my client, for Jacob.
For any class, yeah.
We've been heavily focusing on digital, so it hasn't shifted much at all for us.
Okay. So what's the strategy? Let's say Jacob puts out something March 1st. Do you just kind of go by feel, or is there a plan in place to say, well, 2 months from now,
Actually, if it's an album, because the your DSPs are your retailers, Spotify, Apple, YouTube is a DSP, is a you consider them a retailer. YouTube, Apple, Spotify, your big threes, they pay you the most. Tidal, Amazon, they all need time. If you want great marketing looks, you need to give them time. You need to give them a marketing plan. And usually Jacob's Connection 3 album, we were 6 months out. 6 months out, letting them know that it was coming. Like, Jacob's album is coming in 6 months. Okay, great. Keep us posted. And literally, like, every month we're letting them know, like, okay, this is going to be the first record, so they can live with it, because the DSPs, they getting hit with millions of people are hitting them with different records every single day. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I'm like, if you're independent and you need as many looks, then, give the DSPs lead time. Give them lead time. Let them know what the plan is, because they may have money to assist you with an activation. When you see the people on billboards, the billboards in Manhattan through Spotify, because they had time. You know what I mean? They had time. People are letting them know 3 months in advance. Oh, Jay-Z's coming. Beyonce's coming, you know, and it also gives you time to talk to them and say who's coming. So you know, you want to know who's coming. Yeah.
Yes. So who do you follow that has inspired some of what you do, or who's someone that you learn from, or that does it well? Is there anybody that you particularly kind of look at and say, yeah, they're doing it?
As far as the marketing goes,
Yeah.
some of the campaigns that I really liked, I don't know. What campaign have I really, really, truly, truly liked?
So for the most part, God is just downloading this just directly to you. So it's not. So I said, for the most part, God is just directly giving you downloads. So it's not even someone that you've seen it work for.
I mean,
Come on, Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, I watch everybody. I study. The thing is, I don't just study what people are doing in the music space. I want to look at what is I don't know, what is Pine Sol doing? How are they, what kind of marketing strategies do they have going on? How can I implement it, you know, how can I implement what they're doing, in my campaigns, but make it my own thing, I like to look at just what every industry is doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's more to just your content and posting. It's like, what are their email campaigns? What are their text message campaigns? What are their out of home campaigns? Like, what are they putting on bus stops? And how are they, how are they attracting people while they're driving? Like, I like to study
Yeah.
all kinds of marketing and campaigns, not just music. Like,
hmm
I like to study everything and like why did they do it this way? I literally dissect it.
Wow. That's wise. That's
Yeah,
very wise.
yeah.
Very wise. So the one thing I want to ask you before we start to wrap up, can you speak to demographics? I know that depending on your demographic, is there a route that you want to take depending on, let's say you want to reach an older group of people or a younger group of people? Like, just speak to how important it is to know your demographic and kind of what platforms you think people should target depending on the age.
You should 100% know who your customer is. Know who your customer is. You can Google to find out who your customer is. You want to know how they buy, what they listen to, what are they buying outside of music. Um, if you're looking to do Facebook and Instagram ads, if you that would be a whole nother session. But I mean, Facebook, they have a pixel. They follow everything we're doing. They follow what we like. They follow, what pages we're on. So basically, once you go into Facebook's ad manager, you can create an audience. You may say, okay, I think my target market is 18 to 25, and I have I have some new boxing gloves or something like that. The interest is boxing. Facebook is going to literally give you 2 million to 500 million, or however million people like boxing, but not just boxing. How many people like Floyd Mayweather? How many people like this boxing magazine? Facebook, well, not Instagram. Facebook gives you literally everyone who you need to target before you do an ad. And it also lets you know what they like. It lets you know if they're married, if they're single. Millions of people, you'll be able to really narrow down who your target market is. You wouldn't even believe some of the stuff that you feel like your target market likes. Once you click on the page and see, you'll be like, oh,
Hmm.
I didn't know this existed. You know what I mean? So that's a great way to understand your target market. And maybe your target market is, married. Maybe the percentages married. So that means, okay, you know what? I know my target market is 63% married here on Facebook and Instagram. So now I can do some type of campaign for Mother's Day, for Father's Day, for anniversaries. You know, then you start to think of all of the marketing campaigns that you can do beyond just what the regular stuff you want to do. You start to think be out the box, you know. And then Facebook helps you target that demographic before you do your ads. So it's really important. It's really important. And it's I love it. The information is out there for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And it's good because you may not need to be on Instagram. You may need to focus on Facebook. You may need to focus on LinkedIn. You may need to focus on having still, you know, not just maybe your focus is still, you know, selling things physically. You know what I'm saying? So it's just important to know where where your target market is, where they are at all times, because you don't want to be in the wrong place because you're not in their face. You're wondering like, dang, why nobody buy this t-shirt yet? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
So you mean to tell me if I'm a 55-year-old rapper, I don't probably need to be on TikTok?
Uh, Probably not. I I guess it depends on what kind of rap it is. Is it like karaoke? Is it, you know, are you trying, is it comedy? If it's comedy, maybe that's okay. It's still a lot of older people that are doing great on TikTok. It's just a matter of what type of content it is, you know? Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess it just depends. You know, it
Yeah.
depends. But also marketing is also testing and problem solving. You know what I'm saying? So some things may not work and that's okay. You just pivot till you figure
Wow.
out what works. Yeah.
That's very, very good. Very good. So I know you have some product that is available. I've been watching you and just kind of just in admiration, from afar, from a distance, and I've had the chance to kind of speak to you one on one as well. But I wanted you to kind of maybe give a brief synopsis of what your product entails, like the newest book that you have. Just
Sure. Okay, so through my company, I have two companies. But through my company, the Brand Fetish Marketing Agency, I really just launched Brand Fetish Marketing. I offer, well, Brand Fetish Marketing Agency is a boutique agency that offers small businesses and entrepreneurs assistance or strategic partnership with creating momentum building marketing plans, and also working with individuals that are looking to um, build their personal brand, okay, and create products around their personal brand. But I'm not neglecting my music community, okay? So I do have a music business and marketing bundle where that includes my digital marketing webinar replay for independent artists. I strongly recommend people get this and invest in it. I mean, I literally break down everything about digital marketing, but it also includes my talent management ebook, my marketing plan guide and workbook, as well as a sales and streaming tracker. So it's on my website, TishTaylorMerchandise.com, TishTaylorMerchandise.com, and it's available for download there. Yeah. Or you can my personal site, tish-taylor.com, and just click shop if that makes it easier.
awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, what are your social media handles, just for people that want to, follow you and kind of maybe pick your brain on some things?
Miss Miss Tish Tish Taylor. Yeah, Miss Tish Taylor. I'll be changing it once I get married. MRS. It'll be
Come on, status change, status update. Y'all see the ring on her finger. Shout out Cersei, what's happening, bro?
but it's Miss Tish Taylor on all my platforms. Yeah.
Got you, got you, got you. Well, wow. like I said, it's so much information that you've given us, and I'm sure it's so much more that you can give. And
Yeah.
we've only scratched the surface. But again, I'm so grateful and thankful to just be in connection and relationship with you and your family. And this is a 414 connection. We all went to Brown Deer High School in Milwaukee. Oh man, so just to see, us 20 plus years later, still connected is a blessing in itself.
Our eyes and all. Lord, okay,
Yeah.
they here though. Okay.
Yeah. So again, we thank you. Again, this platform for us is just really to try to bring more insight and wisdom and information to the people that need it. So we're reaching out to professionals. So if there's anybody that that has valuable information that will want to share their journey and different tips on how to help other people, feel free to send them our way. We'll gladly accept them and get them scheduled in. And so, James, hey man, another show, another episode. Yeah. One more thing. I'm excited, you guys, because yeah. We just launched on Apple Music. So you guys can go on Apple Music podcast and search the MJB Music with JB Podcast. It is live. Every episode that you see here will be uploaded, just the audio only, of course. And so if you guys are watching, thank you for your patience because we understand that technology, there may be delays and the visual side of things, but when you listen back, it'll be clear as water. So this episode will be available in the next 2 to 3 days. Make sure you share it with someone who needs the help, who needs assistance with marketing and promotion strategy. We'll be having Miss Tish Taylor back on one day soon. And we just, again, thank you all for joining us. We'll holla.